you can leave that there. It don't make a difference. Yeah. Yeah, you can leave that right there.
Have you ever kind of understood or began to understand why you grew up the way you were, and what was was there a purpose to it, and kind of your life path, how that changed the game?
Always know this, whatever you go through will make you who you are. Whatever you go through. And if a person I know people that say, I wish I can go through life without no problems, and you will be the weakest thing to ever grace this earth. To ever grace this earth. Because if you don't go through something, you will never be able to sustain anything. And I'm not proud of the things that I've done in my life, but I can tell you that God allowed me to survive it for a reason. Out of my 15 years, I've done 11 years in solitary confinement. I guess it's an event it's called Supermax Prison, 23 hours isolation, control units, administration segregation. You know, that was half of my life. You know, locked down and behind themselves, so I wanted to come really see what they talking about.
The history of incarceration in America has always been a very peculiar thing. We are told that Benjamin Franklin went over and rushed over to Benjamin Rush, no pun intended, and that when he got together with Benjamin Rush, they came up with this idea that they would create a place where people who commit crimes could go and do penance. And there, where they would do penance, they would come to some kind of understanding of their wayward ways, and therefore they would be able to come out better human beings. That was supposedly the stated intention. Nothing has been further from the truth.
These are pictures when I was in Oak Hill, juvenile detention center, for a robbery I didn't commit. My mother and my little brother came down. You know, another friend of mine, he was down there with me. You know, and these pictures when I was in the Supermax in Florence, Colorado.
Our next speaker is Elijah. She is the Deputy Director of the Criminal Justice Institute at the Harvard Law School.
The actual prisoners in the control units were asked to describe their experience. And across the board, they all describe it as traumatic. The report goes on to say that there are few, if any, forms of imprisonment in control units that produce so many indices of psychological trauma and symptoms of psychopathology.
That's like me. I've been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress syndrome, post-incarceration stress syndrome, all this stuff. And I studied and researched it and found out, damn, I do have some of these symptoms. You know, and in jail, we ain't receive no help for none of this stuff.
Thank you very much. And our last speaker is Ms. Bonnie Kerness. If you check control units in Google, you will find the name Bonnie Kerness all over it.
From the adult prisons, John was directed to leave the strip cell, and a urine-soaked pillowcase was placed over his head like a hood. Once woken, the prisoners were forced to strip, gather their belongings, while feeling the dogs straining at the leashes, snapping at their private parts as they're trained to do.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to make a statement. I've actually spent 15 years in prison. What I want to say is, what are y'all willing to do to try to stop this? Because I've been home, and a lot of people say that we won't recover as people. But I've been in jail since I was 16. I've recovered. I'm doing my groundwork now, but it's hard to find people to network with to try to help these brothers and sisters out. So what can we do to try to help them out?
We need your testimony. We need the testimonies of other people like you who come out and who are willing to work. If there's any way I can help you, I brought all of 2 cards with me. If there's any way that I can help push forward what you have in mind, I mean, I would stand on my head to do it, because without you and without people like you, people like me have nothing to say.
That's what I'm trying to do, find the right people to network with, because a lot of times you find a lot of people, unfortunately, that burn a lot of us out when we come home. And I'm just thankful that I've had the energy to kind of keep moving right now.
When I look back.
This is something I've been working on for the last, month or so. And I got my younger brother to put the beat on it, keep him busy. So,
whether you were incarcerated,
like I said, this is the start of a new one.
Ourselves
to look
back at the past.
Just want to give you a little sample of it.
It also allowed.
You want to take a look at my rocks? This is some of my project. This is some of the things that I do. Some of my rocks. This is some here, one up here that I keep up here at all times. See, that's RIP to my past, my prison past. This type of stuff I do to keep my mind occupied. The door that you enter can help your life or destroy you. So it's 3 doors. You got the prison door in the middle and 2 doors on the side. So which one you choose to take will make or break your life. And this one I just put freedom, where plants is growing out of the sky. Something I felt the time to do. This one, it's a whirlwind. I got life. That's why I believe that life is a whirlwind. Whether it's good or bad situations.